In this video, I'll be showing you step by step the mounting procedure that I used on this deer 2 weeks earlier. It might be hard to tell, but this deer has an extremely large body. Later in the video, I'll put him aside some other deer so you can see how big he really is. Stick with me and see. Okay, I'm going to mount this deer today. I have over 20 hours into it already so far. That's with caping the hide off of the head when it came in, turning the ears, the eyes, the nose. Then I fleshed the whole hide, all the meat off. I salted the hide overnight. I tanned it the next day. It never leaves my shop. Then I set the ears the way I want them in the relaxed position. It kind of accents the antlers a little bit better. And I had to lengthen his snout a ½ inch. I bondoed a ½ inch piece of styrofoam, then I epoxy sculpt, reshaped the muscles and the veins in it. So this will take me at least 6 hours to do today. Unfortunately, I had to up my back pills and take a muscle relaxant this morning to get me through it. I turned down several deer this year because of my back. I just can't do that many, but stick with me, we'll see how it goes. Here's a trick that I use. I thought of it myself. I got a large cone and a thin cone, and I have different circumference measurements, and I know the measurements of my deer that I took when he came in, so I stretched the hide out to these measurements. It works really good for me. Just slip it over. And then this deer was very big. He was 4.5 years old, a very, very large deer. So I use this to stretch it to my measurements. So then I'm going to test fit it on the Manequin here in a second. Okay, here's the lips. Whenever you flesh the meat, you gotta turn the lips all the way to the end. Take all the meat off of it, the whole way around the lips. There's his nose pad, and you can see it's fleshed clear to the end. You gotta take all that out. That's for tucking. I want to show you one spot here, small little nick on his lower lip. Show you how easy, a nice little trick. Just take super glue gel, put around, pull it, it's gone. No stitches, works awesome. Okay, so what I use is I take the ear cartilage out, and this replaces the ear cartilage. So put a generous amount of hide paste on. You don't want it to drum. So there we got a generous amount on there. This is the deer's right ear. And that'll take shape of the old cartilage. And just line up the hair and you got her. This has a hard, like wire brush material. There's like a shine on here, and you gotta rub all the shine off so the glue adheres better to the hide. Okay, got a small amount of clay in there just to hold it in place. Put the eye in the socket there. Check the pupil with the flashlight to make it sure it's horizontal with the ground, parallel with the ground. It is. Then I take a 1/4 inch of clay for the bottom. The eye skin will be tucked in underneath this clay. Take a small amount for the same thickness for the front corner of the eye. And then the eyebrow is heavier. I use 3/8 of an inch thickness. And then just form it into the Manequin. And you'll finish it up once you tuck the eye skin up underneath there. You'll finish it. Don't go too crazy now because you can deform it a little bit whenever you put the hide over it. So let's just get it rough close for right now. Okay, now I'm going to smear hide paste over the whole Manequin, starting right behind the mouth for now. I'll reach up and put some in there later. Use a generous amount, because you don't want the hide to slip and start twisting as it dries. And I'm going to rub hide paste from back of the mouth over here, none where the skull where the stitches will be, and I'll be gluing or putting glue on down to the base of the shoulders. That's what's good about having your lines lined up before, so now you just put them right to your marks that you made and you're good to go. Now before sewing it up, you put clay where all the muscle tissue was that you removed to take the place of it. So this whole skull plate will be covered with clay, and it'll get hard. It's water-based too. It'll get hard in just a couple days. So I'll be covering this the whole way around underneath here, up to just enough under the burr for the hide to go through. Alright, now this is the long part of the day. I gotta sew with needle and thread, sew around the pedicles. Over the other pedicle, there's a Y incision the whole way down its back. I got a half hour to 45 minutes of sewing. Okay, I sewed both of the bases of the antlers around the pedicle, and now I got to start going from my top of my Y incision, and I got to sew it down to the bottom, a ½ inch apart each one, and I tie it off and knot it every 2 inches in case the thread would break. It'll be one section. Okay, so I did the baseball stitch. That means it's under one hide, over to the other hide, and then up underneath that one, then come back and go up underneath that one. All over the snout now. Brought the ready to start tucking the lip. So I'm going to find the center of it, and I made a lip slot in the styrofoam with my Dremel tool. Made a groove about 30 degrees up, and that's where we'll be tucking this in. So I'll start here and tuck it right into the slot. Then I got to go back to the back corner and tuck both corners in now. After I tuck the upper lip the whole way back, I put in a couple pins. These are called hide nails. I put them up through so I don't go to the same degree of the slot, but I put them up straight up through so it won't interfere when I tuck the lower lip in. So you just push like that, and I put a couple in straight up. Now I'll tuck the lower lip in, just turn it upside down in the form. It helps you can see better. the Manequin upside down, and just tuck this into the same slot as the slot that the upper lip's in. And just find the center and just start tucking it in the whole way, going around. And then okay, I got the lips both in the slots and pinned up. Now it's a matter of turning his nostril back inside out and putting them in where I dremeled out for the nostril. So I'll be tucking them in, shape it. I like to give a little bit of a flare, nostril flare, and then I'll also pin it. There's a nostril flare that I like to go, just flare a little bit. I'll put pins in it later to keep that shape until it dries. Okay, as far as the eyes, this is called the preorbital gland, and I made a slot for it with my Dremel tool. So I actually just tuck that in that slot. There's where it goes. And then the skin, I'll be tucking the skin up underneath the glass eye, or underneath the clay, but above the glass eye, going the whole way around. I'm going to put one hide nail in there, and this front corner, I put one hide nail in there, and that's all the nails I use. One in the preorbital gland and one in the corner of the eye. Okay, just pushing this nail in this corner here, and then this skin here will get tucked under the clay that I put in earlier, the whole way around. And then I'll shape the eye with the clay that's in there. I'll push it back up and shape the eye. And I work on the eyes for about 48 hours after I'm done, until the hide's done. It can move on me, or I can change it up to about 48 hours. So I'm going to work on this eye a while. Okay, got the eye set, and now I just have to flip up the shoulders and around the top and put glue there and staple it up. When you staple it, put it about 3/4 inch from the edge of the board, separate the hair, and these are 3/8 staples. And I'll go around and tap them with a hammer the whole way around. Well, here it is. It took 6 hours. That's what usually takes. My neck's killing me, but that's life. It's soaking wet like a wet dog right now. I know it's dripping water, so he's really soaked. It'll look better after he dries. Take about 2 weeks, and then I'll paint it, and it'll be all done.